Story 1. The Strange Neighbor. There was a kid named Ethan, 12 years old, spending his winter holidays at home because his parents couldn't travel that year. The neighborhood slowly emptied out as December passed, cars disappearing one by one, houses going dark, until only a few lights remained on the street. Snow fell almost every day, thick, quiet, absorbing sound until nights felt unnaturally silent. From Ethan's bedroom window, the most noticeable thing was the house across the street. It had been abandoned for as long as he could remember. No curtains, no electricity, no signs of life. His parents once told him no one wanted to buy it because the previous owner disappeared during a winter storm years ago. Ethan never thought much about it, until one night, just after sunset, a single light turned on inside. It wasn't bright, it wasn't flickering. It was steady, warm, deliberate. Ethan watched for a long time, expecting it to turn off again. Then a figure appeared at the window. A man, tall, thin, standing too straight to look comfortable. He didn't lean on the frame, didn't move his head, didn't react to the falling snow. He just stood there facing outward. That night, the light turned off after midnight. Ethan tried to sleep, telling himself someone must have quietly moved in. But the next evening, the exact same thing happened. Same room, same time, same man, same stillness. By the third night, Ethan stopped telling himself explanations. He started watching the clock. As days passed, the pattern never changed. The man never left the window, never closed the curtains, never moved away. And slowly, Ethan noticed something else. Snow was piling up everywhere. Yet the ground around the house stayed untouched. No footprints leading to the door, no tracks near the gate, nothing. It was as if the man existed only in that room and nowhere else. During the holidays, Ethan spent more time alone. His parents worked late, and the quiet gave his thoughts space to grow darker. Sometimes, when he brushed his teeth or walked down the hallway, he felt watched. Not from outside, but from inside the house. Mirrors began to feel uncomfortable. His reflection sometimes felt delayed, not wrong enough to scream, but wrong enough to notice. One night, curiosity overcame fear. Ethan raised his hand and waved at the man across the street, slowly, deliberately. The man didn't wave back. He didn't react at all. But the next night, he stood closer to the window. And the night after that, closer still. Near the end of winter break, Ethan woke suddenly around midnight. His room felt colder than usual. The light across the street was on, but the window was empty. His heart began to race. Then he saw movement below. The man was standing outside, in the middle of the road, staring directly at Ethan's house. He didn't walk. He didn't move. He just stood there. Ethan stepped away from the window, barely breathing. When he looked again, the street was empty. The next morning, neighbors noticed police cars outside the abandoned house. Inside, officers found no furniture, no clothing, no signs of someone living there. Only photographs, hundreds of them, taped neatly across every wall, all taken from the same window, all showing the street, all during winter nights. Some photos were decades old, some were recent, and in the newest photo, Ethan stood at his bedroom window, mid-wave. The house was sealed and later demolished. Years passed. Ethan grew older, but even now, during winter, he avoids windows at night because he learned something important. The man never lived in the house. The house was just a place to watch from. Story 2. The Winter Holiday Cabin. There was a kid named Lucas, 10 years old, excited for winter holidays because his parents had rented a remote cabin deep in the mountains. The drive itself felt endless. Narrow roads, tall trees on both sides, snow getting thicker with every mile. Phone signals disappeared early. Radio stations faded into static. And by the time they arrived, it felt like the rest of the world no longer existed. The cabin stood alone in a clearing. Old wood, a stone chimney, and a porch half buried in snow. It looked quiet, peaceful. But Lucas felt uneasy the moment he stepped out of the car. The forest around them felt too still. No birds, no wind, just silence pressing in from all sides. Before sunset, Lucas wandered near the porch. That's when he noticed the footprints. They didn't lead toward the cabin, and they didn't come from the forest. They formed a wide circle around the building, evenly spaced, deliberate. His parents laughed when he pointed them out, said it was probably an animal walking around. Lucas tried to agree, but animals don't walk in perfect circles. That night, after dinner, the lights were turned off and the fireplace crackled softly. Lucas lay awake in bed listening. Then he heard it. Footsteps outside, slow, heavy, crunching through the snow. They moved around the cabin, one full circle, then another, never stopping. When his father turned the lights back on, the footsteps stopped instantly, as if they had never been there. In the morning, fresh snow covered the ground. The footprints should have disappeared, but they were back, exactly the same as before. Same distance, same shape, same circle. Near the porch, Lucas noticed something new. A single straight line scratched into the snow. Too clean to be accidental. He didn't tell his parents. Each day, the holiday continued as if nothing was wrong. His parents cooked, talked, laughed, enjoying the isolation. But Lucas watched the snow closely. Every morning, a new line appeared near the porch. One line became two, then three. No matter how much snow fell overnight, the marks remained. The footsteps returned every night, always circling, always slow. Lucas noticed something else too. They never crossed the circle. Whatever was outside never came closer, as if following a rule. On the fourth night, Lucas woke suddenly, feeling cold. The cabin was silent. No wind, no sound. Then he heard footsteps again. But this time, they were closer, not circling, approaching. They stopped directly outside his bedroom window. No knocking, no scratching, just stillness. Lucas held his breath, staring at the glass, afraid that if he moved, something would know. Morning came slowly. Another line appeared in the snow. The count was almost complete. Lucas finally showed his parents. They grew quiet, uneasy for the first time. His father tried brushing the marks away, but the snow beneath was carved deeply, as if the lines had been etched, not scratched. That night, the footsteps returned earlier than usual, louder, heavier. They no longer circled the cabin fully. They paused, lingered, moved closer to the walls. The family packed their bags in silence. They left before sunrise. Years passed. Lucas grew up, but the memory never faded. As an adult, curiosity pulled him back. He researched the area and found records of winter disappearances, all happening within days of heavy snowfall, all near remote cabins or campsites. The cabin from his childhood had been demolished years ago, but no one ever rebuilt there. Lucas returned one winter, standing alone in the clearing where the cabin once stood. Snow fell quietly, just like before. He waited. On the second night, footprints appeared. They circled the clearing, near where the porch once stood. Fresh tally marks appeared in the snow. Lucas understood then. The marks weren't counting days. They were counting how long someone stayed. He left before the count could finish. Locals say that every winter, footprints still circle that clearing, and tally marks still appear, waiting patiently for someone new to stay long enough.